Hello friends, welcome back to the Rayo Moon Oracle. I'm Rayo and today we are continuing our Tarot Discovery series with the final card in the Major Arcana, the World card. So card number 21 or 22 if you're counting the Fool as card number 1 technically. So the 22nd card in terms of like the number of cards, but numbered in numerology wise is 21 because the Fool is 0. So the World card. We got 3 cards for us today to look at. A little bit all different kind of styles today, which I thought was going to be very interesting. So let's start with our keywords. So keywords for the World. We have realization, expansion, fullness, success, cycles, or cycle, beginnings and endings, possibility, celebration, completion, accomplishment, wholeness, learning, renewal, unity, infinity, and travel. So numerology wise, since it's card number 21, so that's 2 plus 1 equals 3. So that gives us an element of divinity in it. If you think about in Christianity, we've got the Holy Trinity, right? Multiplication wise, when I was looking and doing research for this card, so you got 3 times 7. So 7 is also numerology and is also like faith and also ties into kind of that divinity as well. So that's 3 times 7 equals 21. So with it adding up to 3, we have elements of the Empress and the Hanged Man in there. And then with 7 being kind of tied in too, that brings in the Chariot and the Tower. Lots of very powerful cards, big movement, lots of energy, lots of connection to self and spirit and all that kind of tied in. So it's that kind of like final, that divinity tied in right before we move into like the bigger pieces of like that last like step before like moving into spiritual energy almost. So it's that 3 moving into 4 and that like moving into heaven energy. If it's coming out in the tarot in a yes or no, it's going to be a yes. Lots of big energy here, and it's probably a yes even with it being in the reverse because of just the way it is, but there might be like a delay in that yes. Astrologically associated with Saturn a lot of the time. Energetically, it feels like Jupiter to me though, just for the way there's expansion and growth and lessons in there, and Jupiter is that expansion energy. It's tying into the earth element. Of course, it's the world, right? It's a heavily spiritual card, but if you think about the entire planet, that is earth energy, right? The planet is earth. So it doesn't really have a connection to any specific zodiac sign because if anything, it's all the signs or none of the signs at the same time because it's just all encompassing, right? So we had the sun where the sun had the elements of all the signs tied in together. So this one with the world would be more similar to that, but also like no signs or all the signs all at once. Common symbology we'll see in these cards frequently from looking at the Rider-Waite imagery, from looking at different tarot decks. Circles are pretty common, so that shows up the cycles, that wholeness, that completion. So whether it's a snake biting its own tail or the figures are in a circle of some kind or there's circles all around, that's all pretty common. And then usually lots of color in this card. We'll see in one of the world cards I pulled for us with this tarot deck, and the tarot deck specifically, we see rainbows, lots of color in all of it, representing all of our, like all 4 seasons, all 4 elements, that wholeness and that kind of all-encompassing coming back, right? So all the colors add up to equal just white light, or white light breaks down into all the colors. So you get like all the suits, all the directions, all kind of encompassing with all those colors coming in. So in the original Rider-Waite imagery, we have this womanly figure in the middle holding these 2 wands, rods kind of thing, kind of showing that energy. We have this like wreath laurel kind of thing that she's surrounded by. So that's kind of that circle, that infinity again, just kind of hanging in the air too. And then we have the different figures off to the side, right? And that's representing our different elements or different suits, the other elements in the tarot. Just kind of showing that all-encompassingness coming in here with the World card. So let's see. Let's jump into our cards now. So the first card I pulled for us from the Halloween Tarot here. So the Halloween Tarot, we have our different elements here again, or the different like 4 different kind of figures symbolizing our different elements or different suits, all the different 4s here. Our cat is in like a circle of bones here, and the cat is in every single card in the Halloween Tarot specifically. So showing that journey, not quite of the Fool, but just the presence of spirit, the universe, different things in the tarot. So it's interesting with the cat being the main focus here and showing it. So we see kind of some other little planets here. We got our bones. We have that tree element. So trees are also very common if you think about the world tree, and that ties into one of the other cards I pulled for us. So Very, very cute card. So we got a bat, we got what looks like a lizard, kind of salamander, a scorpion, and an eel. So let's see, that's the eel would be our water element, scorpion would be kind of that earthy element. Yeah, earth element, I'd say, I think kind of desert-wise. The bat's obviously our air element, and then that salamander lizard would be the earth element here. No, fire element, sorry, my bad. I think of like fire lizard. So scorpion or lizard I can see being either or. I'd have to double check in the booklet itself to see which ones they would tie to each, but we got our different elements here. And pretty card. I love the coloring in this one, the orangey, the purple, so just a very bright and colorful color. We don't have all the colors in this one, but we do have lots of color itself. So just a cute card. I liked the difference in that one and the elements for it. The one that had lots of color in it, but also very simple at the same time, is the one from the Wild Unknown Tarot. So this one, super simple card. So we have all the different colors around the edge of the circle here. So circles, again, that circular energy, that infinity kind of coming in. We see like the stars as well, kind of showing like the circle being like the earth in the center of the space. And then we also have kind of that like snake element here, which the snake biting its own tail is a pretty common imagery in the world card itself. So we see kind of these scales here, right? Kind of more in the center, and then we see some more flowers even more in the center of this card. So there's different layers of circles in this one, going down and down and down, and having different elements in each of this one. Again, the world card or any of the cards in the Wild Unknown is pretty simple, which I like for that. It just kind of connects with this energy. But what I liked for this one is the element of all the different colors. So we have a play of the colors and the white at the same time for that kind of all-encompassing feeling, that completion, that wholeness here. So that is the world card in the Wild Unknown. And then our last one comes from the Wildwood Tarot. So this one and this one is the world tree. And in different mythologies and cultures, this concept of the world tree is that all-encompassing itself, right? It is the energy of the entire planet all together in one element, in one tree. We have this maze here, right, as the journey of the Fool. The journey the Fool is taken in order to get to this ending, and we have that little door in the tree here, right? Stepping into this next level, into this deeper spirituality, into the whole world and this whole big energy here. So we have some play of color here as well, right? We see the different seasons in the tree itself, which I think is a very interesting way to show it, right? We see at the far end on the right side here that there's no leaves, so that's our winter aspect. You flip around to the other side of the trees are kind of that like yellowy green, so that's our spring, and then the darker green, which is our summer, and then that kind of orangey, which is our fall, and repeats the cycle. So the world tree showing all the different elements all at once, which is awesome. I hadn't actually really thought about that until just now when I was looking at the card. I'm like, oh duh, of course that is what it is, and that makes sense. So the concepts of the journey that we've taken through the major arcana is present here with the maze and the different seasons and the elements and the all-encompassingness of this big tree and this big energy that we've worked so hard to get to, right? So that's our 3 cards. Other meanings for this card. So we've got success and fullness, of course, and conclusion. So we get like a happy resolution. We've finished, right? So with that comes the future being wide open for us. We've already gotten that happily ever after. So we've got lots of positive outcomes. All of our lessons have been learned. So we're feeling whole and inspired. With this cycle, we have that one door closing as another door opens, right? So if we're looking at that world tree in the Wildwood Tarot, that door in the middle of the tree going into that new door that's presented to us. So we're moving with the universe, moving forward with the universe, because we have harmony and contentment because we finished this process, right? So it's energy that is both individual and universal at the same time. So our individual journey is part of the universal larger journey and energy taking place. So we got the flow of the journey here. We've like conquered the world, and you've persevered through this energy. You've completed this major journey that the Fool started at the beginning with card 0, leaping off into the unknown and working through that whole journey and to the end of the world, persevering through and finishing the journey here. So With the card coming in reverse, though, we do have those new beginnings and intentions, but there might be like delays coming in. So we're engaging, it might be encouraging us to engage in life and let go in order to get that card into the upright position. But we can have imperfection and disappointment coming in with this card where we can't let go. That's where that delay comes in, where it's like, okay, hey, we know we're almost done. We're so close, we're right there, but we just can't let go. We can't finish. So that's where we need to like close that door. I did know what I said, by the way, there, but, so we need to close the door, move on to that next step, right? So, with the card coming out and potentially in the reverse, something to keep in mind, right, is like we have this completion, we have this fullness, we have this oneness with the universe, but it is always temporary. With our existence on this planet and in a human existence, it is a temporary journey, a temporary oneness, because it's just the way our energy works on this planet. So it might be coming out if you feel that emptiness after completing something big in your life. That might be some of that energy coming through here. So when this card comes in reverse, we need to maybe ask ourselves what's blocking this wholeness, what's blocking us from feeling like we've completed this thing, what's blocking us from feeling like we can celebrate. So what feels incomplete? Maybe what shortcuts or delays have we taken in order to get to this world part? That might be where that reversal comes in, because we took shortcuts or delays, so it's not a whole encompassing feeling that we got to and that we like deserve this, right? So with moving forward with a reverse world card, we need to accept where we are. We could be just losing focus right at the end. So it could be encouraging us to like, hey, finish out. You're so close. You're right there. Just a little bit more. It's like a Nine of Wands energy almost, where it's like, okay, let's just almost there, right there. A little bit more, finish it out. So we also just, there's a couple like last little things. Yeah, something feeling like we're missing. There might be an emptiness there, stagnation, and we might need to cut our losses. So the reverse world, definitely more of an encouraging one, I'd say, one that gives opportunities for you to actually get that feeling. It's the world card coming in reverse is still a positive card, it feels like, in most ways. It's just like, hey, you're right there. Just here's what you need to finish out. Here's what you need to feel. Like, just figure out these last little bits and you can have an upright world and have this journey complete, right? It's the end of the cycle. So if the world card's coming out for you, then it's like you've accomplished something big, right? It's like a graduation, it's a marriage, it's a new child being born, something like that. These big steps in life, these big parts of our journeys. So if you think about like if you had a child, right, and you get them to graduation and they're turning 18, turning into an adult, that's like a huge world completion right there. That is world energy coming through and completing. Where it's popping out for me right now in my life is definitely that encouragement for travel and this next step and next journey in my life. And it's been interesting as I've been going through the Major Arcana, the ways I've been able to connect it to my life and working with it and seeing how it's encouraging me to move through these processes in my own life. It's been really interesting, especially with these last couple cards here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's this, that's that, that makes sense for this, that makes sense for that. And it just all kind of ties in all together. And that's just how energy works a lot of the time. But that is the end of the Major Arcana, friends. That is all 22 cards. Still a lot more in the tarot, obviously. We've got all 4 suits, but that is the big energies. Those are the major energies. And we've made 22 videos now in this series, and that is a big accomplishment and a world energy itself. So it's kind of fun how it all ties in together. But leave any comments you might have or questions down in the comment section below. I'd be happy to help out if possible, or just talk with y'all down there. Please subscribe to this channel, help me out and engage with the videos. I enjoy talking with everyone here. But that's all I have for us today, friends. I hope you've enjoyed the series. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.